Screen recording. It's another one of those tools I like to use to try and engage with photographers. It's really hard to give feedback to someone about a photo by typing in an email or in Moodle. I'd much rather bring the photo up on the screen, zoom in and out with my hands and show them what I'm trying to say. We're on different systems. This is a Mac. It's not a new Mac. She's more Millennium Falcon than Starship Enterprise at this. There's also the PC Windows side of things too, and that can be, well, at least from my perspective, it's a little bit harder, but you know, let's not start that war. QuickTime and Preview are pretty much the two apps that work for me on a Mac. And when you click on QuickTime Player, you get three options. You can make a screen recording, which I'm currently recording now, as you can see by the little logo up here. That's the stop button, by the way. I can also do an audio recording, which is just flat out an audio file. So if you just wanted to, talk to a student and you didn't want the screen or your face recorded, or you can do a movie recording, which essentially uses the computer's web camera to film you while you're working. And Preview is the app that will essentially take a photo of your screen. There's keyboard shortcuts built in. So if I wanted to take a screenshot of this web page, I would hold down Command, I would hold down Shift, and I would press the keyboard number 3. And then, as you'd see back on the desktop, there is a screenshot there. Cool. Now, if I didn't want to take a photo of the entire screen, say I just wanted to take a photo of this little area here, Command Shift 4, and see how the crosshair has changed on my keyboard there. I can literally just drag out the rectangle I want, and that's going to jump back to the desktop, pop up there too. If you're on a Mac, go iMovie. It is sweet. It is so cool. I just love iMovie. But anyway, that's just me. On Windows, you guys are probably really familiar with the snipping tool for taking a snapshot of your screen. The video, I've found a little bit harder to just flat out screen record with the basic software. And that said, I spend most of my time on Mac anyway, so I'm not at all an authority on Windows. When I do have to do a little bit of screen recording on Windows, I use, and let me just flip to it, a couple of different ways to do it. So first thing is I try to use Google Chrome as the browser because it allows you to use lots of little apps and plugins and things like that. And the one I use to record my screen is Screencastify. I'm pretty sure I didn't come up with this idea. I'm pretty sure it was Sharon Howlett who showed me Screencastify, and thank you, Sharon. It saves the footage. It records either like the screen or a tab, saves it into a nice small compact format that you can email. It's a funny format. It's really compact and small, but it's really hard to edit. So if you bring it into iMovie, if you bring the Screencastify file into there, iMovie reject it. And it's like the only file I've ever seen iMovie reject. It's pretty funny. So my workaround, if I have to edit one of those videos, sometimes it's quicker just to like bin it and record what you were trying to say again. But if I have to edit it, I will upload it to YouTube as a private file, and then I'll come in here and use YouTube's trimmer and video editor that's built into YouTube. I know a bunch of people are doing really clever stuff where they will hold like a YouTube/Google Hangout with themselves, and that will then produce a video file. I hear people talk about Camtasia a lot. I think that's probably good. I've never come across a copy to use it, but if you just want to have a dabble without committing to software, there's a couple of ways to do it. If you want a really nice way to edit your video for free, go to GoPro. You know, there's the manufacturer of those tiny little cameras. Download their software. It's pretty robust and, you know, pretty cool. It's designed for kids and all that kind of thing. So it's so simple, even a photographer can do it. What's going on my phone? So I can jump to the keyboard and I can talk about, say, the benefits of calling 000. I can talk about the people, how to add a contact to your favorites page. Simple things like how to call your colleague, bang, and how to hang up on your colleague. I'll get the photos onto the screen and then I'll just compare them. I mean, this is a before and after. This is actually of my mum when she was... Anyway, there's mum. She's still around, the cat, don't know. I can zoom in, I can scroll around, I can make an audible note and say, Jimmy, you've done well here. However, I would have liked you to spend more time cleaning up these dust spots on the water tank. In terms of essays, do exactly the same thing. And this can be either just literally telling them they've crushed it and they've met all the performance criteria. And I can look in and I can highlight things and I can say, this paragraph is sweet, don't change it. That sentence there feels a little bit clunky. I'd like you to talk more about shutter speeds and apertures. And if you've got a laptop or if you've got something like that, they're usually pretty inclusive. So the web camera is built in, there's microphones built into the computer. You just fire it up and get into it. Sometimes the fan in the computer revs up and that impacts upon the clarity of the audio a little bit. Not badly, but it just sounds a little bit like, you know. To try and minimize that, I plug in my, I've got a little microphone which I plug into the computer. That I bought before we had the rollout of all the really awesome, and I mean that, I really like them, the Skype phones at TAFE, and they are awesome microphones that sit right in under your chin and they just lift the entire audio of your screen recordings by like 3 billion and 40%.